This is The Dime, a 10-minute dive into the cannabis and hemp industry through trends, insights, predictions, and tangents.
Is Delta8 just a novelty?
So I have an opinion that may be contrary to popular opinion in this space.
That's why we're
But
here.
at the end of the day, I think that there's a fine line between smoking a plant that naturally produces a chemical versus ingesting a chemical in which humans had to create. I think at that point it becomes a drug. And if you're gonna just walk around and start taking random chemicals, I think that is probably one of the worst choices people could make in their life. That's just my opinion, though. I mean, at the end of the day, just gonna go around taking random chemicals that cause psychotropic reactions. Might as well start taking the ones that cause the real psychotropic reactions, like DMT or acid or mushrooms, right? So, at the end of the day, it's a medicine. And if you're taking it in a non-medical environment, then at the end of the day, it's just you're just taking drugs to get fucked up. And I don't think, I already see that Delta-9 and the plant natures make it. At this point, it's a synthetic chemical, in my opinion, that we just don't know how it's going to react from a long-term perspective in terms of the pros and cons. But that's just my opinion on my little soapbox about all these random synthetic cannabinoids that are about to hit the market.
I think that's an interesting point. And from my side, a lot of the users that I know that are consuming cannabis could care less that it comes from a plant. Maybe there's that small group of people where it's a plant, so I consume it. A lot of them are consuming it to get high. And I don't think they care. Delta-9, Delta-8, CBD, CBG, CBN, whatever it takes, they don't care. They just want to know that when they consume this product, that they're going to feel a psychoactive feeling where they're going to be a little more relaxed, a little bit more disoriented. And I think that all matters to them. And I wonder, as the education, the industry matures, if people then drive that thin line and they're like, well, it's not plant-based, it's more synthetic, like you were saying. And I wonder if that becomes a more distinct line in the ground. But at the end of the day, I wonder if it's here to stay just because of the loophole of the federal government by the fact that they can buy this online, get high, and not have to worry about it, especially the non-rec states like New York, where people are really coveting the ability to consume cannabis in any form that they can possibly wrap their mind around. So I would say in the short term, I think it's going to become really popular in the non-rec states. And I wonder if governments looked and say, hey, this is happening. This is stupid. We should wreck this out. And then we can make tax revenue on this. And then there's not this sort of novelty of this Delta-8 product that we don't really know so much about.
So I would say one thing, too, that it is illegal right now in federal government language in all the rec states. 98% of the manufacturers are selling illegal Delta-8, right? So the way that the law is written, right? And this conversation is different than the one that we had with our buddy Matt, right? The way the law is written is any chemical derived from the marijuana plant is illegal to sell, right? Which makes commodity chemicals from cannabis illegal, which is why when you talk about commodity chemicals from the cannabis plant, we refer to hemp. So what a lot of people are doing is they're deriving, say, their THC from a cannabis plant, and when they're going through trying to sell this THC, instead of Delta-9, they're going to do a synthetic reaction to convert it to Delta-8, and then they're flooding the market with their excess Delta-8 product that, hey, turns out that their brand didn't succeed in California. There's this legacy market. Instead of doing that, they're going to get converted to Delta-8 because they think that they can sell it all over the country, right? That's where I think that it's going to get really, really slippery within the federal government and how they've kind of worded things. And even so within I think the hemp bill has a phrase in there that talks about converting Delta-8 or CBD into some of these THC derivatives, right? So I think it is kind of encompassed in the law that it's going to be illegal. And really the only real workaround, in my opinion, for it is if you're going through and synthetically manufacturing it like a pharmaceutical company would, like that one company that Matt was mentioning to us, So But then again, I'm not a lawyer, and the precedent really hasn't been set at all from like the federal government arresting anyone. And it seems like they have their hands full with a couple other things going on right now in the world. So it's probably all just wind coming out of my mouth right now.